Why is there a statue of liberty, but not a statue for responsibility? That's what I want to discuss in this video because I find it fascinating that we erected this goddess holding a torch to symbolize freedom. The freedom to go where we want, to say what we want, and to be what we want, without recognizing that there is a value of equal importance, if not more importance. And that value, that virtue, is the ability to be responsible. Responsible to yourself, responsible to your family, to your friends, to your community, and to the world at large. We forgot about that value. We didn't worship it properly. We didn't put it in its proper place. We forgot about it. And all we cared about was liberty. All we cared about was freedom. But in order to be free, autonomous beings with the capacity to say what we want, to be what we want, and to go where we want, we really can't do that unless we're responsible first to ourselves. If I don't show up for work when I need to show up for work, I'm not going to make the money I need to live comfortably, to say F you to the boss if I don't like the conditions. If I don't show up for work on time, and more importantly, if I don't work hard enough, I won't keep my job. And then I run into the same issue. I won't have the money to support myself, to build wealth, to live a life of freedom. If I don't put in the proper effort, I won't learn the skills in order to advance, in order to become more knowledgeable, in order to become more valuable. And eventually, too, I will run into the same problem. I will be replaced by somebody younger, hungrier, cheaper. That is the natural order of the business cycle. So if I don't show up for work on time, if I'm not responsible to my profession, and this could be in a small business as well, if I don't show up to the restaurant that I'm running, and if I don't work with energy and intensity and focus, then that restaurant's going to fail, and I'm going to be broke, and I'm going to have nothing to show for it. And then can I really be free? Am I really free to do as I wish? Am I really free to say what I want? Am I really free to live the life that I aspire to when I'm broke? I'm penniless? No, of course not. So we need to be responsible to ourselves in our work, but we also need to be responsible to ourselves in our health. If I don't have a healthy body, if I can't physically move well, or at least well enough to run my business, to show up to work, to be a contributor, then I also can't live my life. And assuming that I have all of this money from a trust fund, or I'm earning money on dividends, or from stock options, whatever it is, assume I'm already rich. Does it matter if I'm not healthy? I can't live freely anyways. I'm going to spend my time in and out of the hospital. I'm going to be getting checked up by doctors all the time. I can't really visit Santorini, Greece when I have to worry about my heart and my lungs. I can't do that. So I can't live freely. I can't express my full liberty. Just like if I'm not responsible to what I eat, that goes along with health too. My diet will make me feel brain fog. It will make me feel tired. I also can't live freely. I can't express my full liberty there. If I'm not responsible to the people around me, well, I can't have the relationships I want. They will leave me. They will say this guy's a dick. They will say this guy doesn't care about me. They will leave. And then I will have no relationships. So now I can't express my full liberty, can I? I can't live the way that I want to. So what I'm getting across here is that in order to express liberty, in order to be free, in order to live how you wish, to say what you want, to be who you want to be, you first have to be disciplined, and you have to be dutiful, and you have to be responsible to yourself, to your family, to your friends, and to your entire community. Because if you're not, then you don't have the capacity to express your full liberty. You don't have the capacity to be all you can be. This is the idea of discipline equals freedom. A quote from Jocko Willink, ex-Navy SEAL, BJJ athlete, fantastic podcaster, fantastic man. It's the same idea. If you're not disciplined on a day-to-day basis, you won't have the energy, you won't have the resources, you won't have the knowledge, you won't have the skills, and you won't have earned the respect to live how you wish. That is all required first. That is the fundamental bedrock that you have to build in order to express your full liberty. You can't just throw the attic up before the basement, or before the first floor, or before the second floor. The penthouse doesn't come before the lobby. You have to build the bedrock first, and then the lobby, and then floor 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. You have to continue to build in order. It doesn't necessarily have to be chronological, right? You don't have to put it up in a perfectly symmetrical way, but you can't build floor 3 before floor 1. You have to build floor 1 first. And this is what I want to get across to you here, is that though I am a man who advocates for more freedom, more liberty, people expressing themselves, people being more playful, more creative, I only advocate this in the framework, within the packaging of discipline, within the packaging of responsibility, because they go together. You can't have one without the other. Sure, you can express your full freedom so long as you accept your lot in life, a lot that is probably going to suck, a lot that is you living in a tent in the metro that is closest to your small town. If that's what you want, so be it. That's perfectly fine. You could express your liberty that way. But even then it's constrained, right? Because you might want to go on a yacht. You might want to go take a vacation. You might want to go rent out some jet skis. You can't now because you're a bum, because you weren't disciplined and you weren't dutiful. Now, of course, some people fall on hard times. I'm not putting them into that category. I'm talking about people that are willingly choosing this life through their own actions, not just circumstance and chance of fate. No, if you choose that life, you still can't even express your full liberty. And assuming that that's the way you want to go, well, again, you can't do what you want. So it's still not a plausible argument. Oh, well, I'll just give up. I'll just give up. I won't be dutiful. I won't be disciplined. I'll just live freely that way. You still can't. You will still have your mind gnawed at by the idea that maybe if you just put on the suit and tie and walked into the bank that you don't want to work for, and you did that 5 days a week, and you did it dutifully, and you learned, and you invested properly, and you built a side business, and maybe if you just grinded for 3-5 years, or at least stayed relatively disciplined instead of being a jackass, maybe then you could express your full liberty. Or maybe you'd find that the job you're working isn't so bad because you'd find things you like in it, and you learn how to integrate it into this greater mission and purpose. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spitballing. But with that being said, I want to know from you, why do you think we have a statue of liberty but not a statue of responsibility? And do you think that we need to erect one physically, or do you think we need to recognize the importance of responsibility more and more here in America before we completely lose our way? Or perhaps, have we lost our way entirely already? Let me know down in the comments. But if you gain value out of this, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode. Much love, peace. This is New Da Vinci. Have a blessed day.